Are you ready for Survivor, David versus Goliath? Well, I am, and here I am watching the first episode. And so far, we got introduced to the teams, and we had our first challenge to get gear to build their shelters. And it was two teams, Christian and Lursa for the David team, and on the Goliaths, it was Allison and that big wrestling guy. Okay, I like that idea of them having a challenge right up off the bat. I like that the David team got to pick which obstacles they were going to do, and it seems like that one guy, Christian, seems to know his puzzles really well. Yeah. Anyway, the Davids won. Surprising on David versus Goliath. Yeah. Survivor. David versus Goliath. I'm going to have to say that all season long. Anyway, okay, so they got back to the first camp. And on the Goliath team, it looks like Kara and Dan, well, had some chemistry, or they seemed to like each other. On the David team, they started building their shelter, and Pat took charge, and they didn't like that, and they made a joke about seeing his butt crack. Ugh, okay, well, that's the start. Where do we go from here? Okay, so coming back from the second break, I guess they did a lot of social networking to begin their groups. I guess Mike on the one team went off to do some idol hunting. You know, he's the writer, director kind of guy. And that didn't bode well for him. That's expected. That happens. And let's see what else. Oh, John. John the wrestler had this rant that was a little bit racist. Yeah, he was talking about how Mexicans are ugly and stuff like that. And if the wrong ear heard that about like putting on wrestling masks and stuff, I know he was trying to be funny, but I think that'll be a talking point for a lot of people. I didn't really care for it. And then Christian and Gabi went off to have a conversation, and you could see in Christian's, just the way that he walks, why people were saying like Big Bang guy, that TV show, The Big Bang Theory, because he kind of moves a little bit like Sheldon Cooper, I guess, a little bit. And then him and Gabi were off talking about how they're nerds. And what is Gabi? She called herself the nerd whisperer. Some dubious flirtation there, and that was funny. The immunity challenge came, and the rain was just coming down, pouring. And I was like, wow, how are they going to compete in this? And you know what was interesting is how do they mic Jeff Probst, and you can hear him perfectly despite all the rain? Really? That's tough to believe. That the microphones must be really, really good. But that aside, you got to see the teams work in a full team challenge. That was interesting because there was a physical element to it, like the first challenge where you got to dig underneath of a place and then go through a little bit of an obstacle course. That was interesting. And then it finishes with a puzzle. And I thought maybe if, the David team got Christian there, they would be able to snap through it like they did the first time. But yeah, so the David team lost to the Goliath team. That got me to thinking, well, who's going to get voted out now at the Tribal Council? My prediction is that it's going to be Nick, the guy who hasn't been really helping out with a bunch of people, or been helping out with the shelter and stuff. I think it's going to be Nick. Oh, wow. Okay. So we just came back from the last commercial break, and Pat, I guess, was in rough shape. And I guess I think he must have slipped a disc or threw out his back or something. Like, oh, he was in bad shape. I guess on the boat ride back, they must have gone over some rough chop, and just the up and down must have thrown something out. Man, oh, that was unexpected. I didn't expect to see that. So those are my thoughts then, I guess, on the first premiere episode of David versus Goliath Survivor. And this is how I'm going to do it for this season. I'm just going to record my thoughts after each commercial break and try to edit it all together in a cohesive way.
Next time on Survivor, there's a new war.
Don't drop a little Natalie Napalm before it's over.
She's crazy.
Yeah. Some people say it's aggressive. Oh well.
A new target.
They're throwing your name out. Excuse me?
And a new man in charge.
A hyper-frenetic person like me is the ideal person to handle it all.
To be out of the game, not by vote, but by pure accident, it's gut-wrenching, but my life and my health is bigger than this game, and ultimately, I will pick myself up off the beach, dust the sand off, and get back on my horse. As a David, what I've done for 41 years. It's the story of my life.
Okay, so he was treated and he made a full recovery. All right, that's good news. All right. Can't wait for the next episode. It looks like Christian's going to step up and try to be a man. We'll see how that goes. All right, that's it. If you liked what you've seen, please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe.